Past 5 years, the Denver Nuggets have consistently delivered an offensive masterclass, showcasing one of the most efficient and well-executed scoring attacks in the NBA.
Jokic to Gordon. And a 360 spin!
For 6 straight seasons, the Denver Nuggets have ranked inside the league's top 6 offensively, a result of building around the best offensive hub in basketball, Nikola Jokic, a player who can casually drop 55 points or record a triple-double without breaking a sweat. Their identity was built on motion, movement, elite chemistry, and a scoring system that no team could truly solve. But the Nuggets were never known as a defensive powerhouse. That simply wasn't who they were. Yet here we are in November 2025, and Denver isn't just winning, they're suffocating opponents. Teams aren't just missing shots, they're struggling to breathe against what has become the top-rated defense in the NBA. This is not the same Denver Nuggets. Something changed. The question is, how did they transform from a team you always had a chance to outscore into a team you can't even get comfortable against? For years, Denver's identity was crystal clear: offense above everything. In 2021, they ranked 6th in offensive rating at 116, 3 points per 100 possessions. Even through injuries the following year, they stayed inside the top 10. Their 2022-23 championship run saw them finish 5th in offense, a ranking they repeated in 2023-24 with a rating of 117.8. Then last season, they posted their best mark in 5 years, 4th overall at 118. 9 points per 100 possessions, a dominant 5. 2 points above league average. That level of consistency reflects a system fueled by Jokic's genius, unselfish ball movement, impeccable timing, and team-wide trust. For half a decade, Denver operated like a creative, precise offensive machine. But their strength on one end came with vulnerability on the other. Over the past 5 seasons, their defense hovered between mediocre and concerning, 11th in 2021, 15th in 2021-22, and 13th during their title run. The slide hit hardest last season when their defensive rating plummeted to 21st, their worst mark in 5 years, giving up 1. For more points per 100 possessions than league average. That decline finally caught up to them in the playoffs. Against the Oklahoma City Thunder, Denver's elite offense ran into a defense that was quicker, longer, tougher, and far more disciplined. The Thunder dragged the Nuggets into a 7-game battle and closed the series not by outscoring Denver, but by overpowering them defensively. If the Nuggets had matched OKC's defensive intensity, that series might have ended very differently. Those struggles led to one of the franchise's biggest decisions in years, moving on from longtime head coach Michael Malone and promoting David Adelman. Entering the 2025-26 season, the message was unmistakable. Defense could no longer be an afterthought. From the moment Adelman, formerly the team's offensive architect, took over, he made accountability, versatility, and defensive adaptability the core of the new system. Denver's off-season moves reflected this shift, and throughout training camp and preseason, players talked openly about elevating their physicality, increasing their aggression, and embracing a defensive scheme built to disrupt rather than merely react.
Zion back in, you might have noticed him. Oh, and what a block from behind by Watson. Oh, gotta get 2 in a row.
Head coach David Adelman described Denver's new philosophy perfectly when he said, "It's just, do you want to do it? I would love to see our defense get better. If our offense takes a little step back, we'll be fine. With the depth we have, there's no excuse not to play extremely hard. Put your hands on people. Don't worry about foul trouble like we have in the past. It's a different way of looking at the game, and we have to demand it every day." Now that the regular season has begun, his message is showing up in the results. Through the first 11 games of the 2025-26 season, Denver's defense looks sharper and more connected than it has in years. The Nuggets currently hold the league's 3rd best defensive rating at 111, trailing only Oklahoma City and Detroit, and they are allowing just 111 points per game, the 5th fewest in the league. In recent wins over the Warriors, Pacers, Kings, and Clippers, they held opponents to an average of 107 points. Even accounting for Golden State missing Steph Curry and Indiana missing Tyrese Haliburton, this is clearly not the same Denver defense as before. The energy, physicality, and accountability Adelman preached all off-season are finally translating to the floor. For the first time in years, Denver's identity is truly changing. This defensive rise can't be understood without recognizing the people behind it. When the Nuggets fired Michael Malone late last regular season, the move stunned the NBA. Malone was the winningest coach in franchise history, and his exit raised one major question. Who could replace him? The answer was David Adelman, a longtime assistant who had spent 8 seasons shaping Denver's offense, now tasked with redefining the team entirely. Although offense had been his trademark, Adelman's 17-game stint as interim coach revealed another side of him. He immediately began reshaping Denver's defensive philosophy, experimenting with new schemes designed to push the team out of its comfort zone. In one important win last season, Nikola Jokic played in drop coverage instead of his usual up-to-touch position, and later in the playoffs, Adelman deployed a zone defense to slow down Oklahoma City, a strategy that nearly worked, pushing the series to 7 games. Those adjustments showed that Adelman wasn't simply preserving Malone's system. He was reinventing it, moving away from concepts Denver had relied on since 2018-19. To further drive that transformation, Adelman brought in Jared Dudley, a 14-year NBA veteran and member of the 2020 Lakers championship team, to oversee the defense. Through the first 11 games of this season, the results speak for themselves. Denver ranks 3rd in defensive rating with a 111. One mark, a massive leap from last year's 21st place finish. Their improvement isn't chaotic or reckless. They play with structure and intention, pushing the pace when needed but operating with patience and precision when the game slows down. The Nuggets' offense still thrives on trust, ball movement, and matchup hunting, but now it's matched with a defense capable of supporting and elevating it. For the first time in years, Denver is no longer an offense-first team. They're balanced, disciplined, and playing with edge on both ends. To understand how this shift truly began, you have to go back to last season's playoffs, when Adelman was still interim coach. That's when Denver started blending more zone defense, sprinkling in full-court pressure against the Clippers in Round 1, and even using junk coverages on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder in Round 2. With Dudley helping guide the defensive overhaul, Denver tested schemes that looked entirely different from those used under Malone. Their man-to-man coverage, in particular, got a makeover. For years, Denver's base defense revolved around Jokic playing at the level of the screen, stepping up to meet the ball handler instead of dropping back. This approach kept Jokic active and mitigated his early rim protection weaknesses by forcing teams to rely on secondary scorers. It worked for a while, but eventually the league adjusted. After 7 years of running the same coverage, opponents learned to exploit Denver's rotations, bigs began reading the help better, and ball handlers anticipated Denver's patterns. The once advantageous scheme gradually became a liability, prompting Denver to rethink its entire defensive structure. This season, Denver's defensive approach looks completely different. Instead of clinging to one rigid system, the Nuggets tailor their coverages around Jokic's extraordinary IQ and the matchups in front of them. Some nights still require Jokic to play up at the level of the screen, but on others, they shift into various forms of drop coverage. The critical change is that Jokic no longer has to chase guards at the perimeter on every possession. Denver's guards and wings are taking on more responsibility at the point of attack, allowing him to stay closer to the rim, conserve energy, and defend with his mind rather than his feet. In this setup, Jokic serves as the anchor, reading passing lanes, controlling spacing, and forcing hesitation from opposing guards. It's less about physical speed and more about intelligence, and it's far more sustainable. Key players like Christian Braun and Peyton Watson have become central to this new scheme. Braun, now in a larger role after KCP's departure, brings consistent ball pressure, physicality, and the willingness to chase tough matchups. Watson provides elite defensive versatility, leading the league in blocked three-pointers last season and holding opponents to just 52% shooting at the rim over the past 2 years, the 6th best mark in the NBA. Denver is also training all of its wings to defend with more physicality, something they struggled with in recent seasons. This emphasis was heavily influenced by the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that perfected the art of almost fouling, playing as physically as possible without crossing the line. OKC's defense suffocated opponents by collapsing the paint and recovering with precision, and no one executed this better than Alex Caruso, who caused Jokic problems throughout their 7-game battle last postseason. This year, Denver's perimeter defenders have clearly adopted a similar mindset, playing with active hands and generating more disruption. Last season, the Nuggets ranked near the bottom of the league in opponent turnover rate, 4th lowest overall. Increased aggression at the point of attack should naturally boost their defensive ceiling. Adelman understands that pressing and constant physical defense isn't sustainable for 82 games, but he also knows that establishing those habits now will pay off in the postseason. 11 games is a small sample size, but Denver's defense already looks sharper, hungrier, and more deliberate than in previous years. Rebuilding an elite defense takes time, but if this trajectory continues, Adelman and Dudley may finally have achieved the balance Denver has been chasing for years. With Denver's new defensive identity centered around greater responsibility for guards and wings, it's worth spotlighting the players anchoring this evolution. Peyton Watson, who quietly dominated last season as one of the league's most versatile defenders, continues to be a game-changer. Christian Braun has answered the call as a full-time starter, bringing toughness and scrappy physicality. Cam Johnson, one of Denver's major off-season additions, has already emerged as an elite pick-and-roll defender, allowing just 0.58 points per possession, ranking in the 90th percentile. His understanding of rotations and switchability has strengthened Denver's structure. Aaron Gordon, meanwhile, made his preseason mission clear. He plans to elevate his defense even further, taking advantage of all the offensive firepower around him. Even role players like Spencer Jones have stepped up, showing the ability to guard elite scorers in short bursts and earning Adelman's trust in critical situations. The result is a team where role players defend like starters and starters defend like stars. Anchored by Jokic and supported by Watson, Braun, Johnson, Gordon, and others, Denver has built more than a strategy. They've built a defensive culture. And if they sustain it, the Nuggets may finally have the balance necessary to compete for another championship. Currently, they rank 2nd in offensive rating and 3rd in defensive rating, making them the only team in the league sitting inside the top 5 on both ends. At 9-2 and riding a 6-game winning streak, the numbers aren't a fluke. The effort is real, the structure is real, and the results are undeniable. If Denver maintains a top 10 defense through the season, their chances of making a serious championship run rise dramatically. They're no longer a team that simply tries to outscore you, they're a team that can shut you down and bury you. The coaches believe this is the path to winning, and the players, starters and role players alike, have fully committed. We already know how dangerous the Nuggets can be with offense alone, but now, with a defense that complements their strengths, they've become a true two-way force. You can't outscore them, and you definitely can't stop them. That's the recipe for a team ready to hang another banner in Denver.